morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. If you will, like, share, comment on the post. And then if you'd like to follow along in Genesis chapter number 6. If you will, again, like, share, comment, and then buckle up. We're going to have to cover quickly a couple key things going on beginning here in this chapter. We're going to be looking at the first 8 verses. Again, a very high view we're not going to really break it down in great detail, but the first 8 verses describe for us a sad scene, really, when we think about how quickly we have gotten to this point. We're 6 chapters into the Bible, and we begin to see the fall of society. We see the horrible result of sin. And I'm going to read this, even it's going to take some time here. When man began to multiply on the face of the land, and daughters were born to them. So we have, I'm going to comment as we go. Let's do it that way for the sake of time. He says, so the population is beginning to grow as nature would have it. And it says, the sons of God saw that the daughters of men were attractive, and they took as their wives as they chose. So everything about this passage revolves around who these sons of God are that we are talking about. And there are probably a lot of different ideas and different opinions here, but I think the universally accepted, and the one that I believe makes the most sense as we think about who they are. Part of the confusion is because when we come to the New Testament, we often see this phrase, we see the phrase Son of God referring to Christ, and we hear about the sons of God, the children of God, as those who have been born again, those who have accepted Christ. Well, I think it's obvious that's not who we're talking about here. Again, we see a lot of those kinds of examples. But when we take the context here, for one thing, it's not the same phrase. The phrase that is translated here, B'nai Elohim, is not the same phrase, but it really doesn't, the story doesn't match other uses of the word when it does refer to the children of God. No one, up to this point, none of the other people who have been spoken of, no one has ever been referred to as the sons of God or a son of God up until this point. And so there's really no reason to believe that they are, that's what this means. And it would really be a stretch, I think, to try to apply it in this way. And so the thing that does make sense, that does fit, is that these beings were, again, sons of God, not sons of men, but sons of God, because they were created beings. They were angels. They were fallen angels. We know that, again, a third of the angels fail with Satan. And so what we have here are what some have said are just angels who have, they're fallen angels. They're demons, I guess would be a better word even than angels, that they are demonized men. They are demons taking on the shape of men. And it says that they thought the women were attractive, and they took them as wives. At that point, God says, I don't like it. And he's beginning to take notice of the wickedness, the sin. I'm not going to say beginning, he's been seeing it all along, but it's rising to the point of needing judgment. Then it says the Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward were the sons of God. When the sons of God came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them, and they were mighty men who were of old, the men of renown. Verse 4, again, depending on what translation, says the Nephilim or the giants. And the Nephilim is the word that is used there, translated in the King James as giants. So when these demonic beings procreated with the women of the earth, they created giants, mighty men, Nephilim, as they're called here. And these were wicked men. These were evil men. And they continue, it says in verse 5, all they thought about was evil, to the point where God regretted even creating man. And he says, I'm going to blot them out. I'm going to wipe them out. But as he had that thought, it says there was one man, and that man was Noah, who stands out in the crowd, and in the midst of all of this evilness, this corruption, Noah stands out and finds favor with God because he walked with God. And again, that's a very brief high view of what's going on here, but again, the people were being influenced and impacted by demonic activity, and because of that, evil was flourishing. Evil was, again, that's all they thought about, it says. But in the midst of that, there was one person who stood out, and that was this man Noah, who stood out for his godly living. Again, I'd encourage you. You can do some more study on that than I really have time here this morning. I think that kind of covers the gist of it. That the sons of God that are talked here again were demons, fallen angels, who reproduced with the women of the earth, who created giants, evil men, Nephilim, as the word is used, who were constantly involved in evil. But one man caught the eye of God. I hope that's your prayer today, that no matter what the demons of hell do, no matter what the Satan cooks up, no matter how evil, and it seems like we live in a world much like that, where it seems like there's a whole lot of people whose every intention of their thoughts is only evil continually. Let's be Noahs. Let's be men and women who find favor, who serve God, even if everyone else goes wrong. You think about it. You have a good one. We'll see you here tomorrow morning.